Well, isn't it just perfect? I mean, was I not just saying? I mean, it's just so serendipitous. This whole fantastic... Well, come up here then. Now sit down. Good. Excuse me. You just sit down. Perfect. The thing is, right, Barack Obama, black president of the United States, and here I'm going to have a little brown baby. It is going to be just perfect. People are going to think that I've done absolutely the right thing. I mean, the whole world view is going to change in a moment, and I'm going to have a little brown baby to go with it. And Barack Obama is not just any black man either, is he? He's the right kind of black man. He's not all black. He's half white. So his skin tone is perfect, isn't it? And then he did the brilliant thing of choosing a black wife who's lovely, and her sense of style is just impeccable. The great thing about her, she's also not too black. And I think he probably did that on purpose, himself not being fully black, you know. And she can just wear any colour and she just looks stunning, you know. But the good news about him is that then their children are slightly lighter as well. So they're all perfect colours. I think Americans really can embrace that. You know, it's a black president without being too black. It's just ideal. I'm so happy for the Americans. I'd love to give them all a big hug if I could. You know, that kind of thing. And I just am so proud of myself for seeing this entire thing. It's just really been, well, not surprised. I mean, you know, I sort of knew that platform wedges were going to come back before they did. And I bought a few pairs in Paris, you know. And then sure enough, 2 years later, I had to wait. I did have to wait for them, but sure enough, I'd already gotten them at a much better price. And it's the same kind of thing. Here we go. You know, in a few months, we're going to have a black, not all black, lovely mocha-coloured president of the United States. The entire world's going to change, and I will have my little brown baby. What could be more ideal? To be honest, darling, I don't really follow politics. It doesn't really matter to me. It's more about, does this person look like they could lead a country? And he does, to me. Black or not. I'm not racist. So, I don't mind that. And I like some of the things he says. I mean, I don't really know anything about the Americans. I haven't really paid any attention to them. What's the point, you know? But they do have, you know, a huge influence on the rest of the world. You know, this way I'll be able to play into it aesthetically. But I don't need to focus on the politics. I don't think anybody really cares about that anyway, do they? Not anyone who you talk to normally will really know what's going on. Doesn't matter. But you've got to get excited about it, don't you? You've just got to really let yourself get excited about it. And I have done, and it feels really good. The thing about McCain, isn't it awful? I mean, all the plastic surgery. Except you can see it. I mean, one side of his face is kind of beginning to hang off it. Not to mention his wife is really terrifying. She's got that awful thing that American women do. That they just keep getting little nips and tucks here and there, and eventually they're all a bit, you know, crazed looking. And what she's the heir to what, like an Anheuser-Busch fortune? She worked for Anheuser-Busch. I mean, beer, honestly. Please. You can't go there. And voting for John McCain is just, it's so dull. I mean, it's so done. It's so over. You know, the white men. Come on. Move forward. Young, mocha-coloured, half Africans. That's where the future is. And also, I mean, the whole thing with Hillary Clinton, and yes, you know, I'm very supportive of women's rights and that kind of thing. I mean, look at me, choosing my own family the way I do. Very supportive of that. But Hillary Clinton, honestly, if you can't put on a dress and say, I'm powerful, but I'm still wearing a dress. She wanted to be a man. It was just too much, and her hair kept getting more and more severe as the primary elections went on, you know. It was sending all the wrong messages. If you're going to have a woman president, she should at least dress like Michelle Obama, for example. Men should want her, women should want to be her, you know. Nobody wanted to be Hillary Clinton. Poor darling. And she doesn't have a chin, now that I think of it. And that was unfortunate. It's nice to have a nice strong chin in a politician, I think. It's another thing one should look for. Jowly, isn't he? I mean, just a bit kind of... And if you want to be know the honest truth, his trousers are always too short. They're just a little bit too short. And I don't know if it's his legs are oddly shaped. They might be. One never knows these things. You can't. But his trousers are a little short. And that makes you wonder, you know, does he not have enough time to go to the tailor? You know, I know he's a busy man, but if he's leading, you know, the British people, at least wear your trousers right. Come on. It's going really well, thank you for asking. I think we're just about there. It's really exciting. I've got a few that I like. I've been looking at, you sort of put their pictures up around the house, so you can sort of have a look every now and again. There's sort of one that's catching my eye more than the others. You know, you go to get a cup of tea, you think, oh, actually that one's, you know, sort of perfect. But I'm sort of waffling between two, but we've got sort of two lined up, and so I think by the end of the month, hopefully I will have made a decision, which is very exciting. And you know, you've got to sort of, I put pictures of myself up next to it, because you also want to have a certain level of believability with it, don't you? You put sort of myself up if I'm sort of in my country clothes, and does the baby look alright with that? And I put myself up, sort of make sort of town clothes and that sort of thing. I put a few pictures of sort of some of my friends up, so in case the friends want to hold the baby, well, it's got to look good for them, doesn't it? Anyway, so there's two of them that are sort of neck and neck, leaning more towards one, but you never know. You never know. When you really know what you want, you've just got to be focused, and then you can go and get it. From, you know, the perfect dress to a new baby. You know, and sometimes they have one extra child than they're meant to have, or they can't sort of know whether they're going to have a boy or a girl, and gosh, wouldn't that be awful? But I don't put too much import into it. I mean, it's just, you've got to be christened, haven't you? And then when they're off in boarding school, they'll do the confirmation there, so that will be fine. But, you know, apart from that, it's just for looks and social reasons. I wouldn't want to put them behind the 8 ball, say, if I raised them Muslim or something awful like that. No, they've got to be Church of England just because that's what all the right people are, aren't they? The whole world is open to you. If you can go out and make money, or have money, as some people do, then you can really choose the family that you want to have in this modern world. You can get children from where you want to get children from, they can look like what you want them to look like. You can become a global citizen of the world without anyone trying to stop you at this point. It's very freeing. You know, I've got people to do that for me. I've always had dogs growing up, and I have cats and horses, obviously. But I don't necessarily have to look after them. Like I said, I've got myself to look after. And, you know, there'll be people to look after the baby, and then the child, and then boarding school. You know, I mean, there's not much, you know, give them a cuddle every once in a while, read a story, you know, that kind of thing. Have a meal once they're older, that kind of thing. But that's what my parents did for me, and I've turned out just fine.